Hello guys, welcome back to the video. I'm your host Chris Davis, and today we are going to do a review of Pokemon Journey. Maybe about probably 3 weeks or a month ago, I did a video about how I didn't like Ash winning the Masters 8 tournament because it wasn't believable. His whole journey about going into the Masters 8, it wasn't believable, and how contrived and how much obvious the plot armor was. And if you want to see that video, I will have an end card somewhere up here. But in this video, I'm going to review Pokemon Journeys like as a whole. I apologize if this is a long video. I'm not trying to bring up every single thing, just big things, just the highlights, the big highlights of Pokemon Journeys. And how really the series really dropped the ball and didn't reach the full potential as it could have. Now, Pokemon Journey started out great. Right? We had this new premise of Ash, newish premise about Ash not traveling through a region but staying like in a particular place, but this time he would be going from region to region to region, and he would be a research fellow alongside Go, and they would be working with Cerise, Professor Cerise. And Ash eventually got this new goal of participating in the World Coronation Series, while Go tries to catch every Pokemon to eventually lead up to catching Mew. So overall, this was great. Even Ash's first start in the World Coronation Series was great. He was battling other trainers and he was going up the ranks fast. Even his battle against Farina was really good, and that battle wasn't contrived, it was believable. He won. It was a really good battle. So, really good, went back and forth. I really like that battle between Ash and Karina. However, when B enters into the series and she defeats Ash, and Ash gets down and he goes on this losing streak from the Great Ball tier back down to the Pokeball tier. We see from that point on Ash just climbing back up the ranks through the World Coronation Series off screen. Now, to me, this is really bad. This was the beginning of all the bad stuff, because instead of us seeing him go up the ranks and it feeling earned, we see it off screen. And to me, if the writers were going to have Ash lose and go back down to a lower rank in the World Coordination Series, then they should have shown it on screen, him going back up to where he was or going a little bit further. Knocking him down a lower rank in the Coronation Series and then just having him go back up off screen, to me, is terrible writing, and it's lazy writing. It's just lazy. So, if you play competitive Pokemon, Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet right now, they have different Pokeball tiers. And sometimes you're on a losing streak and you go back down like to a lower tier. And you have to play smarter, change your team, and keep playing until you win, until you get back to where you were, or get higher until eventually you reach the very top. And that's what Ash's journey through the World Coronation Series should have been like. Now, with Ash's battles, his highlighted battles, other than the one with Karina, all of them were contrived. I'm going to exclude the Masters 8 tournament, but those battles between Cynthia and Steven might have been contrived, but Cynthia to me felt earned. Steven wasn't, and Leon wasn't. Cynthia, okay, I'll give him that one. But technically he shouldn't even be in the Masters 8 tournament. Anyway, Ash shouldn't have made it to that Masters 8 tournament. With all his big highlighted battles that he had with gym leaders, Elite Four members, champions from other regions, shouldn't have beaten them. He should have lost. Big first one, Iris. So Ash meets Iris again in Pokemon Journeys. He learns that she's the champion of the Unova region. And this is a big deal because she became champion of a region that Ash couldn't beat. Remember when he lost to Cameron? Okay. So she becomes champion of a region that he couldn't clear. He becomes champion of Alola, which people to me feel that it doesn't count or doesn't carry as much weight as the champions in other regions, because in the Alola region you can participate in their Pokemon League and you don't even have to do the trials, whereas in other regions, in order for you to participate in the Pokemon League, you have to get all 8 badges. There's a bar you have to clear. So competition's tougher than the Alola League, and yes, it was their first league, but still, other leagues are tougher. And I know they really tried very hard in the Alola League to make it to where, like, Ash earned it. He had a tough bracket, Hal, Gladion, Guzma, then he battled Kukui with an epic battle at the end. Yes, but to me, still not as difficult as the other battles you have to clear in other regions. Anyway, Iris definitely, her championship rank matters more, okay? Just to put it plainly. She should have beaten Ash in this battle. And she was just battling to win instead of just trying to help Ash and his Dragonite connect more. Like, she would have won. So that was plot armor coming in for Ash to win. Another bad battle, Volkner versus Ash. Now, I talked about this battle in my last video, but essentially, keep it short, Ash should have lost. Shouldn't have even brought Pikachu, because none of Pikachu's attacks are effective against Volkner anyway. And he knew Volkner would be bringing Electivire, so I don't know why he even brought Pikachu to begin with. But anyway, Ash wins by using the 10 million volt Thunderbolt, and it beats Volkner's Electivire, who has Motor Drive. So you all know, Motor Drive's ability is when a Pokemon is hit with an electrical type attack, its speed increases. So there's no way Ash should have beaten Volkner's Electivire with 10 million volt Thunderbolt. Motor Drive should have kicked in, raised speed. Ash should have lost the battle. End of discussion. Instead, plot armor comes in and saves Ash and gives him the win. That battle's not earned. Now, another battle. Even though this battle isn't as bad as the Volkner and Iris one, it still feels contrived. It still feels contrived. To me, when he was battling Ash with Gigantamax Machamp versus Ash's Mega Lucario, to me, she didn't do everything she could to win in this last battle. She should have hammered more fighting moves in, and like basically Mega Lucario should have been one-shotted because it's not durable. It's still a glass cannon to where if it's even touched, it will go down. The only reason why Mega Lucario won't go down at all, other than it outspeeding things, is if it resists something. That's it. But the neutral super effective hit, it's going down. So Ash should have lost to B, especially when they had that last matchup between Mega Lucario and Gigantamax Machamp. Should have lost that battle. Completely contrived. Now, this to me is the worst one. Like out of all the highlighted battles he's had, Ash versus Drasna. Now, when you look at this battle, Drasna should have just decimated Ash. She had the type advantage. Ash brought the worst possible Pokemon he could have to this battle. He brought Surfetch and he brought Dracovish. He shouldn't have even brought them. He should have had Dragonite, Gengar, Lucario, preferably Dragonite and Lucario, because Drasna used Noivern and Mega Ataria. So I would have loved a Mega Altaria versus a Mega Lucario battle. To me, that would have been better. Mega versus Mega. But instead, they wanted to go with this thing where the Knight versus the Dragon. Knight's going to slay the Dragon because Surfetch is so chivalrous. And they're going to go with this Knight theme. I get it. But Ash should have lost easily. Worst type matchups. He was using Dracovish and Surfetch. She was using Noivern, and Drasna was using Mega Altaria. Like, Ash chose the worst possible Pokemon to this matchup. He should have lost, but Plot Armor comes in and saves him. Dracovish uses Water God, a very weak water move, to make Mega Altaria's feathers, cloud feathers, soggy, and therefore its defense is weak. Which to me, plot armor convenience. If you want Ash to beat these other high-level trainers, it still needs to be believable. You can't make him win just for the sake of plot. Like, if he beats these people, make it believable. So that's one of the reasons why Journeys was really bad. Just the battling, which is like the most important part in Pokemon, that has to be believable. Okay. Here's the second part. Go. So, Go and Pokemon Journeys. First of all, I thought like his goal was good. I'm gonna catch every Pokemon and then eventually catch Mew. All right. I think that's pretty good. Even though very lofty goal. I mean, it's still good catching Mew. I think if you focused on catching Mew, maybe that would have been better because that would have been a more singular focus. But okay, he's gonna catch every Pokemon, including Mew. All right. Goes. I think his issue. What people had with him was, even though I think that his goal was okay, other people didn't like it as much because I guess as I said, it was lofty. It'd probably be better if Go was going to catch just Mew or other legendary Pokemon. Then I think that would have been a more higher quality goal than just trying to catch every last one of them. You're catching all of them, including like a legendary, which he did. He caught a Suicune, which people were really upset about. And while I'm on that, that's another thing I have to hit on in this series. Suicune. If they were gonna let Go catch Suicune, then we should have seen him use it. There was no reason for him to have caught that legendary Pokemon and it just sit in Cerise's laboratory. Why have a legendary Pokemon and you never use it? We should have seen him use it against battling other trainers. We should have seen him use it against Team Rocket. We should have seen him use it in the Project Mew stuff. So they weren't gonna let him use it regularly. Then to me, why does he even have it at all? Which segues into the next part, Project Mew. Now, Project Mew to me was a big, huge letdown. Now, for all the comments and for whatever people said about Pokemon Sun and Moon, about the Ultra Guardians. The Ultra Guardians to me were better written, better utilized than Project Mew. With the Ultra Guardians and Pokemon Sun and Moon, the series, we saw them very frequently. We saw them do their missions and catching Ultra Beasts and stuff. That was a lot better than what we got with Project Mew. Project Mew, we got two potentially good characters, Tsurugi and Asahi, and even though these characters look cool and everything, they were still a big letdown because we did not get to see them as frequently as we saw Ultra Guardians and Pokemon Sun and Moon. And it would have been a lot better if we could flesh out Asahi and Tsurugi their characters more and like why they joined Project Mu. Just flesh them out in general so we know more about their characters and stuff. And with Project Mu, if we saw them with their trials and stuff and catching legendary Pokemon, if we saw, I guess, more of that journey into looking for them. Kind of going back to like what I said, probably those goals should have been catching legendary Pokemon. If we saw like more of that, just Project Mew in general. Just get rid of all the filler that was in Pokemon Journeys and show Project Mew more. I think that would have been a lot better. To me, Project Mew was a big, huge letdown. Because I think we should have saw more of them, and I think we should have delved more deeper into Asahi and Tsurugi. To me, they were wasted potential, complete waste potential and characters. And I think we also should have saw Isle of Armor in Pokemon Journeys because we saw Urshifu, Water Style, and Dark Style. I'm probably saying that wrong. Rapid Single Strike Style and Rapid Style. We saw the Urshifu, but we didn't see any Isle of Armor, which we got the Crown Tundra in there, even though we didn't really explore the Crown Tundra, which that's also another waste of potential. Because in the Crown Tundra, there's fossil Pokemon that are alive down there, and I think that would have been a big Cerise episode discovery. But no, we don't. We just gloss over the Crown Tundra and to find Lily with her father, which was, to me, that could have been better. Instead of just putting him in another region, what if he was in Ultra Megalopolis? So that's the city in the Ultra Wormhole world where the Ultra Beasts come from. I would have liked for them to have found him there and him talking for them to interact with the residents at Ultra Megalopolis. To me, that would have been far better than just glossing over Crown Tundra and saying, oh, he was in a different region this entire time. Which, I don't like that. So, Go, his issue is, even though I thought it was okay, I see other people's point. He should have had a more definitive goal. And Project Mew should have saw them more frequently. We should have saw Asahi and Tsurugi more frequently. We should have delved into their characters. To me, they look cool, but they're wasted potential. Now, character returning. So characters coming back. Biggest thing I heard from people is saying that more time should have been given to returning characters. So like Gary when he came back the first time. More episodes should have been given to Gary's episode when he returned with the Moltres. Instead of trying to smush everything in Gary returning and the Moltres, which if you're gonna have a legacy like Gary returned, like it has to be higher quality, it has to be better. In other Pokemon series, when a returning character came, there was like a whole arc where they stayed. But like with Gary, they tried to frame everything in one episode. And of course, he came back frequently, but it wasn't up. The character returns weren't up to the same quality as in past seasons. So, good examples of character returns in past seasons. Pokemon Black and White when Cynthia and Donna came back. That was really good. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl when May came back. That was also really good. And Owen, I don't remember it that much, but in Pokemon the original series, whenever Todd and Richie came back, they even had an arc to where they stayed longer and things were more fleshed out. So the character returns and Pokemon journeys weren't all that great. Except for Dawn. Dawn was really good, but that's about it. I guess you can say Cynthia, but it's nowhere near as good as Black and White. Not even in comparison. Serena, that was a bad character return. They had Serena spend time with Chloe the entire episode while Ash defeated a Hoenn champion, Lawless, off screen, which that's terrible in and of itself. Like, who's like writing this? Like, why is Ash going to defeat another champion who compares himself to Steven Stone and he beats him off screen? And then at the end, Serena and Ash just have a quick small talk and they go. This is a fan favorite character that people have wanted to come back like since like she left in the X and Y days, and all they give her is her developing Chloe, which isn't all bad, but she should return to Ash. They should have like an arc or a few episodes to where Ash and Serena are traveling together or working together, because this is a traveling companion that was with him throughout the whole like Hollow series. So more time should have been given to like Ash and Serena catching up and like traveling together or doing something together. But no, you just have Ash and then Serena come back and just a quick small talk and then they're gone. Okay. Now, I told you I can't name every single thing. I can't name every single thing. I'm going to mention two things. And then I'm going to wrap up, because the video's getting pretty long. But I'm reviewing the whole series and I'm talking about stuff that were really bad. That were bad, that could have been done better. So I'm going to do these other two, and then I'm going to mention something else. And then we're going to wrap this up. So, another thing I didn't like was how Go caught Grookey. Go catching Grookey. Now, the reason why I don't like it, because one, it was contrived, and two, it was almost as if like Go stole Team Rocket's Pokemon. Now, in the Pokemon series, we've had Pokemon that used to belong to other trainers, then they go to Ash. But the way Go caught Grookey was really bad. Like, Grookey didn't feel mistreated. Grookey wasn't told to do bad things. Even though Team Rocket is bad, does that give Go the right to like steal their Pokemon when they're not even mistreating it, or it's not even feeling bad about the stuff that they're asking him to do? They didn't even ask him to steal or do anything bad, or him to attack them and stuff. Go just wanted the Grookey. Instead of catching his own, he takes their Grookey. So, I mean, that was bad. If they were gonna let Go catch Grookey, then they should have copied the formula that they did with other Pokemon that have left their bad trainers to go with Ash. So we have the Charmander. Charmander didn't originally belong to Ash. He used to belong to some other guy who I can't think of his name. But he was mistreating Charizard, and Charizard went to Ash. Then the big one, Paul was treating Chimchar really badly, and then he just abandoned them, and then Ash asked Chimchar to come with him. Very believable. The Tepig abandoned. Ash helps the Tepig. Tepig goes with Ash. What else? Gengar abandoned by another trainer. Okay, that trainer mistreated Gengar. Gengar goes to Ash. So why could they not do that? Especially when you had Gengar in like the same series. He was mistreated by his original trainer, but then went to Ash. Why couldn't you have just done something like that? Why did you have to make it to where like Go stole Team Rocket's Pokemon, and now like team people are like sympathetic to Team Rocket? It's just that, just this is really bad, really bad. And here's the final one. The final thing that makes Pokemon Journey really bad. Chloe. Chloe to me is wasted potential because you have this character who didn't know what she wanted to do, uh, what she wanted to be. She didn't know, and so she was set out on this journey to find it. So you have her doing contests. You have her doing all kinds of different things. You have her uh, looking at different Eevee evolutions. She has an Eevee, and that Eevee's like her. That Eevee can't make up her mind about what she wants to evolve into and stuff. So you have people speculating that maybe this will be a new Eevee evolution. It's not. And Pokemon Journeys. I don't think Chloe even develops a goal. Like she doesn't develop like anything a goal at all. Maybe she decides to be a researcher, I think, but they do that at the worst possible time. They do that during the Masters 8 tournament, which Masters 8 tournament was terrible. Like it was terrible. Um, the reason why the Masters 8 tournament was so terrible, battle between Talos champion and Diantha. Battle between Diantha and Lance felt stiff. Um, Alon's battle between Leon was awful. He uses two Pokemon that are not usable at all. Chestnut and Malamon. That battle is completely one-sided. We have two trainers who use Charizards, and Leon he just decimates Alon. And even though Alon loses, they could have at least had Alon put up a better fight. Where was his Pokemon that he used in the Kalos League? Where was Tyranitar? Where was the Metagross? Like where were those pseudo legendaries? So Kalos League was overall bad, but we'll go further into that a little bit later. Chloe doesn't really develop a goal, and like when she does, it's done during the worst possible time. It's during the Masters 8 tournament, which should be devoted to just strictly battle. And with this Masters 8 tournament, I'm gonna just go to the Masters 8 tournament now. This was awful. People were talking bad about the Orange League. Orange League was way better than this. I'm sorry, it was. With this tournament, it was constant breaks, like a break for like a month. Like for like 2 or 3 times, there were breaks, and they lasted for a month. And with these battles, they weren't as great as they should have been. We see Diantha battle Leon, but most of it is off screen, which we should have saw the whole thing. Why are we not seeing the battles of other trainers? Why could we not see like a full battle between Diantha versus Lance? Why did we have to miss half of it watching a Flay baby evolve? Uh, in the Masters 8 tournament, before it got started, um, Lance was not Lance. Leon was number one. Lance was number two. But when the Masters 8 tournament when it gets started, we see Lance is down at rank 4. Why was Lance put down at rank 4? Uh, did he lose to Cynthia? Did he lose to Steven Stone? Possibly. Why didn't we see any of those battles? Why didn't we see a battle between Cynthia and Lance? How come we saw on one episode Lance was ranked 2, but when we get to the Masters 8 tournament, he's ranked 4. So did Steven and Cynthia beat him? If they did, why didn't we see any of those battles? So to me, Pokemon Journeys is bad because it's a huge letdown. it had the potential to be amazing, and we could have had all these cool things and fan service stuff, but it was just a huge letdown. So this video is already 30 minutes long. Like, some of you probably aren't gonna click on it because it's so long, or you've already clicked off the video. But I have to let my frustrations out because people were saying that the series was terrible, but then the writers were saying that, oh, we're dealing with COVID and stuff. And I'm very sympathetic to COVID and stuff, but to me, like, that like isn't. I don't want to be too harsh, but to me, that isn't an excuse. There is so that isn't an excuse. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I apologize if that's too harsh, but that isn't an excuse to me. Uh, you're trying to use that as an excuse, and like it's not. Like there's no excuse for like the bad writing. I could forgive like animation and art not being as great, but why is the writing so bad? And the writing has been bad for most of the series for like 3 years. So you're telling me like because of COVID, like that's why the writing was bad? Like no, like I understand for animation and art, totally with you right there, but like the way the series was written, the way things were structured, like you can't put that on COVID. And I'm gonna say that it wasn't COVID. I'm just gonna say what I've been saying this whole video, really bad writing. I don't understand like why you had that bad writing. I could have written better than that. So apologize if that was too harsh, but to me, uh, that was an excuse to gain sympathy, because the fans were rightfully angry at you for like the bad writing that was going on this series, and so you want to pull on people's heartstrings and say it was because of COVID. Like to me, like no, like it wasn't. You saw that people were mad on Twitter, and to kind of get sympathy, you played that card. And to me, yeah, that's wrong. And even like if you were dealing with that, just go on hiatus and like just go on hiatus until everything gets back together and then start again. Like there's no reason to just keep putting out like low quality stuff. So that's all we have for today. If you liked what I had to share, please hit the like button, hit subscribe. Please share this video with all your friends, and I apologize for the length of it. I try to make it as short as possible. All right, guys. Catch you later. Have a great day.